Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a very good day. So for today's video, I'm here to do a book review, and that is on The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is the first book in the Gentleman Bastard sequence. So let's get started. Let me give you a quick synopsis on what this story is all about. So of course, our main character is Locke Lamora, and he is a gentleman bastard, which is a group of thieves in the city of Camor. And in Camor, there are many gangs and hooligans and just bad people. And you will learn the hierarchy within the city as you read the story. But anyways, The Lies of Locke Lamora follows, I would say, two story arcs. One being of Locke and his gentleman bastard brothers. They are pulling off this job, this heist, to steal as many crowns as they can from this Don and Donna. And then the other story arc is much darker, much more graphic and violent. And what I will say is that Locke gets pulled into the schemes of our antagonist, and that's all I'll say about that. This will be a non-spoilery review at the beginning of this video, and I'll definitely give you a heads up when I get into the fun spoilery bits. But anyways, next guys, I want to talk to you about the characters. I really enjoyed them a whole lot. The characters within the story, they are not completely black or white. There's not this dichotomy of good or evil. There's a lot of gray with our characters. So what I really enjoy about these heist stories is what each character is able to bring to the table, their specific abilities that they could use in a job. So of course we have Locke Lamora, who is the brains of the bunch. Locke definitely concocts all of these elaborate schemes to get all of the money, and he is fantastic at it. He is born to bluff. And then we have Gene, who is, I would say, the strong yet sensible type. He is definitely the muscle of the group, but as we learn about Gene's backstory, you see why he's the sensible one. Gene definitely makes sure everyone is in check. And then we have the Sansa brothers, the twins, who I thought were a lot of fun. They definitely added some comic relief to the story. They definitely are very skilled at different things, but not a master at one particular thing. And then there is Bug, who is the rookie of the group, and he's definitely learning the ropes in how to become a gentleman bastard. And then there's Sabitha, who I won't get into much because the story doesn't really get into her character that much, but I'll probably talk about her more in the spoilery bits and my thoughts on what I'm expecting from her. So those are the protagonists, and what I love about the Gentleman Bastards is that even though they're thieves, you know, they are loyal to a fault. They are a family, and I love that about them. They definitely look out for each other and have each other's backs. And then we have our antagonist, the Grey King, and like I said at the beginning, there's not this dichotomy of good versus evil. He's definitely a bastard. He's a shithead for sure, but there is definitely a method to his madness, I would say. He definitely wouldn't get as far as he did without being smart about the decisions he's made. There is definitely a sequence to how he wanted to execute certain things, so that was scary. And there's many other characters with the fantasy genre. Usually there's an overwhelming amount, but I felt I was easily able to navigate my way through the different kinds of characters in the story, which I really liked and I thought was very good. Next guys, let me get into the plot. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, there are two main story arcs, I would say, within the story. One being the heist, the job that Locke and his bastardly brothers are pulling off. And so what I'm looking for in the heist plot line is the complexity of the heist itself, as well as the predictability factor, and I think Scott Lynch was able to pull them off quite well on those two fronts. As far as the complexity, it was very good. It was pretty crazy. Locke Lamora, he's a master. I was definitely in awe of Locke and his ability to maneuver through all of the bullshit with a straight face. It was fantastic. As far as the predictability factor, yeah, there were instances where I was kicking myself for not like figuring it out sooner, but I guess that's a good thing in a way, that surprise element. But maybe people will be able to look through that and figure it out sooner. But yeah, for me, I guess how certain plot points played out in the book, you start to think one way, but the reveal, red herrings galore. Anyways, next I want to get into the setting and the world building a little bit more because it definitely integrates itself into the story really well. So within the Lives of Locke Lamora, there are these interlude chapters where sometimes it would get into the backstory of one of our gentleman bastard brothers, but there are these other instances where Scott Lynch would do some foreshadowing. He would kind of do some world building about the city of Comor or the people within this world. This interlude chapter would be foreshadowing what's to come in the next chapter. And as much as I appreciated this world building, there were definitely some instances where they were plot blockers. You know these plot blockers when you're really getting into the main story arc and into the characters and you're really excited what's happening with them and cannot wait to see what happens next, and then an interlude chapter happens and you're kind of jerked out of it and the momentum kind of stops and it's like, oh my gosh, no, what happens to the characters next? I definitely had to check myself when I did that because I know it was kind of a cool way to introduce the world building and it was a smart way to foreshadow what's to come in the next chapter. But yeah, I definitely felt like I was being jerked around by Scott Lynch with these interlude chapter in certain instances. So it's definitely a double-edged sword, I would say. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give The Lives of Locke Lamora 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the read. I thought the characters were great. I love the heist aspect of the story and the world building was quite fantastical and getting to know this world was really interesting and I cannot wait to see what our characters get into next and what's in store for them because a bigger shitstorm kind of got introduced towards the end of the book, so it's gonna be interesting how the next book goes. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this non-spoilery review of The Lives of Locke Lamora. If you haven't checked it out yet, feel free to do so. But next, I'm going to get into the fun spoilery bits, so I will talk to you guys later for those who don't want to watch it, and have a very good one. Bye! But now I want to get into the spoilers of The Lives of Locke Lamora because, guys, I hope everyone's gone. Okay, so is nothing sacred anymore? Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting so much death and destruction in this first book. I wasn't. I was thrown off guard. You would think Game of Thrones would kind of prepare me for all the death, but no, it wasn't. Maybe I was hoping that, I don't know what I was hoping, but yeah, I wasn't expecting so many of the gentleman bastards to die. The Sansa brothers and Bug, and thank God Jean is okay by the end. Well, not, you know, in fine form or anything, but he's alive and Locke's alive because of course Locke is in the main character protection bubble. Obviously this doesn't go with all the books, but usually our main character is protected in this bubble. But yeah, I was so stunned by the ambush and it was brutal, especially Bug's death was horrible, and Nazca, oh my gosh, and the whole family, Kappa, Barsavi, and Nazca's brothers, or his sons, Kappa's sons, and all the gangs, and it was just a bloodbath. It was insane, and even the attempt on Locke's life was insane. It's like, someone get him out of that casket now. It was like, oh my gosh, I was like on the edge of my seat. It's like, someone stop the madness. It was just overwhelming and quite graphic and violent. I really wasn't expecting how graphic certain scenes were. There's this one scene where there's this torture and he puts glass in a bag, glass in a freaking bag, and I was like, nope. No, 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 no. It was just really bad. It's like, oh, my eyes, my face, and yeah. Anyways, oh yes, and Sabitha. I should talk about her before I forget. I was really intrigued about Sabitha's character and her relationship with Locke and what those two were up to and what happened there. And I know it's like, oh, romantic relationships, and it's fine that I'm looking at the romantic relationship. What I'm really hoping though is that Sabitha doesn't kind of get the love interest role in the series. Hopefully she adds more, brings more to the table other than being Locke's love interest, and that she can, you know, kick ass and do all the fun stuff too. So I'm really looking forward to reading about her character. I was really hoping she would have been talked about more in those interlude chapters, but no, I want to talk about the ending really quickly, about the Grey King and his death. And I don't know if I was supposed to feel sympathy for his character, but I didn't. I was really expecting the Grey King story arc to span across this series. I didn't think he would die in this first book. I felt the reveal of why he did what he did just came too late, so I didn't really feel anything for him by that point. And obviously whatever happened in the past doesn't excuse the wrongdoings he's done. It's just, I don't know if Scott Lynch was trying to pull some sympathy for that character. I didn't really have it for him, but that whole sequence between Locke and the Grey King was brutal as well. What I really appreciated by the end of that was how Locke was just having none of it. The idiom of revenge is sweet. It's not. It's bitter. It's horrible. And Locke realized what he did was just the worst thing. It's like he didn't want to be put in that situation. Obviously, he couldn't walk away from what he's done. Because you would think for that kind of character, for the Grey King, I would be like jumping up and down. It's like, yeah, Locke stabbed him in the face. But I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just so brutal while reading that scene. Oh, and the freaking Bonds Mage, Locke and Jean are so effed in the B. It's horrible. I can't wait to see how that all plays out, because you know that's gonna be the overarching plot line throughout the series, I'm guessing, because the Bonds Mage is alive, not well, but alive. You know it's gonna be really, really, really bad, because Scott Lynch talks about the Bonds Mage quite a bit, and how he made very clear that you are not supposed to F with the Bonds Mage, and Jean and Locke did the thing. Anyways guys, those are my spoilery thoughts on The Lies of Locke Lamora. Of course, I'm very looking forward to the next books in the sequence. If you've read the book, let me know in the comments below what were your thoughts and your feelings for our characters. Obviously, you know, let people know with the big spoilers in your comments so people don't get spoiled. But yeah, let me know what you think. Anyways guys, I will talk to you later and have a very good one. Bye!